Hello, it's Neil Getz here, and today we are at Cullerlie Stone Circle. And this is quite an interesting one. First of all, I'll do a wee topology around about. So it's a fairly flat looking. So I'll look down towards the sun going south. So it's a fairly flat field. There's a slight rise just in front of us. All the way around, fairly kind of plateauish all the way. There's a slight fall and rise across there, but it has to be said it's fairly flat around about here. It is a managed site, so there's a nice little lay-by there that's it's quite large actually. Plenty of cars can park in there. It's a managed site with a little path, ideal for a picnic actually, on a nice sunny day. Maybe not a windy March day in Aberdeenshire. But yeah, a sort of bronze age circle suggest it's clearly been renewed and re-erected and I'm not sure reimagined as much as Lonehead Daviate recumbent stone circle has been, where the cairns had been reassembled. I suspect this has pretty much just been a tidy up round about and making it nice and manageable as a circle. I suspect it's pretty much been re-erected or redone as it was originally found. So I hope anyway there's not been too much reimagining done in it. What it looks like is a stone circle that's got I'm used to a recumbent, so I'm used to using the recumbent as a setting to start numbering. But if we use a larger one, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stones, and there's 8 cairns, little cairns. Each one, or mostly, well, yeah, I think each one has got evidence of either all their curbstones or most of them. And then I think in 1930 odds, there was a few items found when they'd done an excavation of them. So let's just have a wee walk through them then. So as a starting point, we'll just go to the northern ones and the larger stones. So a little bit, this is the larger one, and it's probably just about my head height, so it's probably just about 1.6 metres. It's got a little bit of, it's either been well selected or it's got a little bit of dressing, but it's all kind of natural round one side. Maybe a chunk out of here. Nice little kind of pinky quartz in it, and I think that's common to all the stones in this one. Nice stone. We'll look at the cairns in a little while, but this is more of a kind of boulder. Maybe a bit of a chunk out that one. It's hard to tell how it was originally found, if the stones were scattered or just fallen out of their sockets. It's hard to tell if they actually were in their original sockets as well. There's not really much in the way of documentation about it, not that I could see, but happy to be put any corrections in the comments for sure. Again, some nice granite, quartz rather, pink quartz. Kind of more of a bolder one on I'm calling number 3. And a kind of smaller one, although this could be on its side. Number 4. It's certainly a well managed site. It's well kept. There's a farmyard just beside us here, but yeah, I mean it's pretty well managed, and nice car park, nice, very accessible. I think there's maybe just about 3 steps just down from the road, but there is a ramp as well down, so it's nice and easily accessible for anybody that's got mobility issues or wants to fancy kind of bringing the family with prams and stuff. Yeah, there's kind of evidence, or one or two little evidences of kind of like flat edges, but mostly kind of, to be honest, these stones and make up the circle could easily be stones that the farmers would have been found out from pulling up from the field. Not a huge amount of evidence of what you'd maybe find in a recumbent stone circle, of a lot of dressing or stones that have been selected because they've been fairly kind of square or flat. But yeah, I mean, if they are suggesting that this circle is Bronze Age, then you're talking about like most recumbent stone circles being all clumped together in the same time period of round about 4,500 to 5,000 years old. Although Pictish stones are beautifully decorated and carved, it might be just the roughness of the stones here are really just a reflection of the function of the circle, which was really just to be maybe part of a burial area for these cairns. And therefore they're essentially like guardian stones, like a kind of boundary stones. They don't have to be any particularly well dressed or carved or anything. They're just like there as a marker. So we can probably read a lot into kind of different kind of stones being either well dressed or carved, or just basically like these ones, where they're essentially just sort of marking the area, perhaps. That's the beauty about stone circles in Aberdeenshire. I think I really like is nobody really knows. We could make up as many theories as we like. We could align as many stones as we like with as many things as we like. The reality is we just don't know. There's no real strong enough evidence to suggest one way or another of these ancient monuments. So these cairns, then, this is the kind of, there's quite a bit of evidence of these nice large curbstones that have kept the cairn, which would have been probably quite tall, maybe a metre high, from the stones from falling out. And it is a bit of a wonder that these still exist, because the normal for cairns is the stones are just ideal size for building stone dikes. So most of the recumbent stone circles I've been to, the cairn that's in the middle of the circle has completely disappeared. Almost no evidence of it at all. If there is evidence, it's the curbstones that are still there. And like I say, Lonehead Daviot was reimagined with its cairn in it. But it looks like the evidence of what's been found originally by the archaeologists maybe 120 years ago is eight cairns with their curbstones. So really quite interesting, and clearly evidence of artefacts being found in them. The problem, of course, is you're never really sure if that's definitely not all the artefacts that were here. It's been robbed probably decade after decade of people trying to sort of find out any kind of hidden treasure or anything like that, I guess. But in reality, I think this is perhaps, it looks like a kind of special burial site. Cairns don't necessarily mean there's just one body in them, of course, or a special burial place for one person. In fact, it could be a whole family, it could be a whole community that's in one cairn, especially a large one. That's been used, but to have 8 cairns is quite interesting, especially when they're all close together. Now, I think Douglas has also maybe seen small cairns that were drawn up by one of the archaeologists at Ninestanes. There was evidence of Ninestanes being a far larger monument than it currently is, and there was groupings of small cairns round about the area, and there was possibility that Douglas had maybe found some evidence of one of them. So it could be a kind of pattern here where there has been small cairns at monuments for specific families or specific important members of a community or whatever, or small communities that live nearby that maybe shared a monument. As a kind of church type kind of environment that maybe we would understand now. Anyway, it's highly recommended. I would nice and easy access. It's definitely a place that would be worth a little visit, because there's so many little monuments round about that you could do a kind of day trip and certainly bag this one. Hope you've enjoyed this little video. Thanks very much.